Welcome to today's deep dive. You know when you walk into a massive sports bar on a Sunday and you expect perfection? Dozens of screens, totally in sync, the game looks pristine.
Right. Yeah, we just assume it's magic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you actually look behind the drywall there or, inside a giant government facility, the physical infrastructure is just wild. It's a massive logistical puzzle.
Oh, absolutely. And today we are cracking open the exact piece of tech that makes that magic possible. We're looking at a product page from HDTV Supply for this tiny, unassuming gadget.
Yeah, the AJA HA5-Fiber Converter.
That's the one. Our mission today is to really decode this dense technical spec sheet and figure out how this basically invisible box solves some of the biggest headaches in the audiovisual world.
Right, so let's unpack this, because I am looking at the physical specs, and, well, this thing is tiny.
It really is.
I mean, it's barely 4.4 by 2.4 inches, weighs just 0.3 pounds. Yet the claim here is it can take a 1080p 60 video signal and shoot it up to 6 miles. Wait, 6 miles?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you think about it.
Because if you try to stretch a standard HDMI cable from your TV to a couch, it works fine. But if you try to stretch it across a neighborhood, the signal just dies instantly. How is this little $915 box pulling off a 6-mile run?
Well, think of standard HDMI like trying to yell a message down a 6-mile hallway.
Okay, sure.
Eventually, the sound degrades into echoes, right? The further it goes, the more power it loses, because standard HDMI uses electrical pulses.
Oh, I see. Wait, so instead of just pumping a stronger electrical current through a copper wire, this box is, like, completely changing the language of the signal?
Exactly. It fundamentally translates it. The box takes your standard electrical HDMI signal along with any embedded audio, and it converts it to a 3G-SDI signal.
Okay, and that helps because...
Because this is where the magic happens.
Yeah.
It translates those electrical pulses into light, specifically a 1310 nanometer laser over a single-mode fiber optic cable.
So it's essentially swapping out the echoey hallway for a laser pointer.
Exactly right. Sending that message via a high-powered laser pointer keeps the beam tight and clear no matter how far it travels.
Wow.
And because it uses single-mode fiber, that light travels in one direct, perfectly straight line. It doesn't, bounce around the inside of the cable and lose energy.
Ah, so that's how it survives a 6-mile journey without needing a daisy chain of extra conversion equipment boosting it along the way.
Right. It creates one unbroken, flawless line of light. But, you wouldn't buy this to watch Netflix at home.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So who is actually building a network that sends a video signal 6 miles down the road?
Well, you have to look at the broader catalog at HDTV Supply.
Right.
They don't just sell this one box. They build these massive modular matrix switchers.
Right, wolf pack systems.
Yeah. We're talking about sprawling corporate campuses, command centers, or those giant sports bars connecting up to 160 TVs off one single system.
That is massive.
It is. And this fiber converter is the crucial bridge that links those giant networks across huge physical spaces.
Okay, but let me push back on that a little bit. With a system linking 160 TVs over literal miles of fiber, isn't this insanely complicated to manage?
Oh, it sounds like an IT nightmare waiting to happen.
Right, like if one thing goes wrong, doesn't the whole system drop?
You'd think so, yeah. But there are a couple of major safety nets built into this ecosystem. On the digital side, this converter hooks right into AJA's Mini Config software.
Okay, and what does that do?
It lets an engineer manage and configure everything digitally right from a computer. They can adjust the setup on the fly.
Got it, but software only gets you so far, right?
Exactly. Which brings us to the human element. The source includes customer reviews, and people aren't just geeking out over the lasers.
No, they are specifically praising support staff by name. I saw people named Rachel and Mike mentioned in the reviews.
Yeah, because we can talk about 1310 nanometer lasers and software configurations all day. But if a rat chews through a fiber cable at a stadium 10 minutes before kickoff, software won't save you.
You need to be able to call a real person.
Right, you need a real engineer. Buyers specifically call out that support staff because that human failsafe is just as critical to the infrastructure as the hardware itself.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You really do need a Rachel or a Mike to troubleshoot when this physical reality clashes with the digital setup.
The human element never really goes away, no matter how advanced the specs get.
Well, next time you are sitting in a massive sports bar surrounded by perfectly synced TVs, you will know there is likely a hidden network of these tiny fiber converters working tirelessly behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's the invisible infrastructure of our daily entertainment.
It really is. And here's where it gets really interesting to think about. In our modern era, We expect absolutely everything to be wireless. We just assume data magically flows through the cloud.
Right, like everything is Wi-Fi or Bluetooth now.
Exactly. So, isn't it fascinating that the absolute most reliable, heavy-duty video transmission on Earth still relies on a physical, hair-thin strand of glass?
It is pretty incredible.
Definitely something for you to ponder next time you're watching the game.